Well, Ken, welcome to our It's a lovely day, and we've had some very interesting interviews with a number of folks who have lived here in the area for a long
Many
time.
people live that long, yeah.
Well, not so many in the village, but some from nearby and around, like yourself, who have known the village for many years.
Yeah.
How old are you now, Ken?
76.
76.
Going on 77. Just getting started.
Just getting started, huh?
Yeah.
What was it like when you first remember the village?
Oh, it's a lot different because now people wasn't so miserable.
Really?
That's right. You didn't have to lock everything up.
Mm-hmm. It was a more relaxed place.
Yeah. Everywhere that way, even to say up in New York. They told me so.
What were you doing in those days? Were you here in school?
I had to leave school when I was 14 on account of my age.
How was that?
Yeah.
Your eyes were bad enough so that you couldn't follow in school?
Well, they didn't want me to put in a close eye work.
Mm-hmm. Whereabouts were you going to school then?
Belleville.
Belleville.
I was supposed to come down here, coming into Wickford.
Mm-hmm.
I come 8 days and they took me out.
Mm-hmm.
I used to take care of the bank books up in Belleville.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Bring it to the bank was on the corner up here.
Right.
You remember that?
Right.
You remember?
I know about that.
Oh. And I used to bring the money down.
Yeah. So you grew up in Belleville?
Well, going to school, I rode a bicycle from Slocum to Belleville.
So you grew up in Slocum. Slocum's your hometown today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't get along with the school teacher.
You couldn't?
No, well...
Why was that?
She'd go down and date up the boys, and one of them was my brother, and after they date her up, they wouldn't show up, and I'd get sent home. She told me that I'd never passed in the arithmetic. After I left there, she'd give me a book with the answers, and I had to put a bunch on the board, and I'd put most of them right, and once in a while one wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She'd come along and correct them, tell me how poor I was doing. When I come to Belleville, I beat the town.
Huh. Mm-hmm.
Makes a difference, don't it?
So, at the age of 14, you left school.
Yeah.
And what happened then?
Went to work. Went to work.
Went to work, and what kind of work were you doing?
Well, that fall, picking up potatoes.
Where was that, in Slocum?
Yeah, Charlie Reynolds, potato king. You ever hear of him?
Mm-hmm. Reynolds family.
Yeah. Harold Tarbox is married into it.
Mm-hmm. The Reynolds family.
And I got a hold of a few cows and things.
Mm-hmm. Set yourself up?
And went making milk. But I did work anywhere where I could. I'd done a lot of hauling out wood.
Hauling of wood?
Yeah, the horse. This horse stuff is nothing new to me. Right down here to your left, around the curve.
Around Fowler Street?
Yeah, it's kind of an open spot down there now, ain't it?
Yes.
I used to cut hay down there. Take it out through Wickford. Long time ago.
Well, what were your early recollections of the village in a physical sense? What was it like?
Well, I never thought nothing of it. Just a place to travel on the road. Harold Jinks run the store up here. Right the other side where you used to work. Yeah.
Right.
He lived down on the next street.
Was that a food store?
A&P,
A&P, right.
I think it was.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I come down there 30 years ago with a horse to get groceries.
With?
30 years ago, I come down there with a horse to get groceries.
Is that right?
At least 30 years ago.
All the way from Slocum by horse to get groceries.
Oh, yeah.
So you've been driving horses for many years.
Oh, I drove my father's black horse from Scituate to Slocum in 1922.
1922?
Yes, sir. 8 and a half. And led one behind. And they drove a bunch of cows ahead.
So you've grown up with animals, and big animals.
Yeah. In Scituate, the farm was on, and the brook went through it, and it had stopped using it for a farm for cows because the water went into the reservoir.
Now, Ken, I know you've told me before that you had quite a period of employment down on the wharves here, working on the oyster
Yeah, that was one spell a year. I forget what it was now. We'd go down there and wheel them aboard schooners and they'd plant them.
Mm-hmm.
You know
wheel them aboard the schooners.
Yeah. And wheel them aboard to a conveyor, and the conveyor take them on the schooner.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean by planting?
Yeah, they take them out and
throw them overboard.
Throw them overboard, and then a year or so later they'd come back and...
Well, for an oyster to spawn, it has to spawn on something. It spawn on a rock.
So these are the shells that you were...
Yeah, because the shells, they spawn on the shells, and the shells will rot away.
Mm-hmm.
You never heard of Captain Ben Northup?
Captain?
Ben Northup?
Oh, I have heard of Captain Ben Northup. What can you tell us about Captain Ben?
Oh, Captain was a good fellow to me. He was over seacoast there, loading the shells on the seacoast. Wait a minute, on the seacoast, we just shoveled them into conveyors, forked them into conveyors, and the conveyor took them off. And old Cap would come along when somebody wasn't working, tell him to get busy. And one fellow said one night, "Why didn't you tell him?" He said, "I don't have to, he's doing his work."
Talking about you.
Yeah. Old Cap was honest that way.
Yeah.
He would get into all mischief there was.
Really?
Oh, he used to get in jail down in New Haven.
Really?
Sure, you walk down the street, you and reach around beside you and pinch a woman as you walk by.
They didn't like that much.
No. Captain said to me one day up there, he said, "You know, I like to take hold of you." Ham, he said, "I don't dare to." Yeah, I said, "Go ahead, Cap."
So you sailed with him too?
Huh?
You sailed with him?
Yeah, some getting oysters. Some of his oysters were hand-picked when they come up on deck. And I used to dump them because I couldn't see. And the other guys would and bag them, you know, and they would hand-pick them.
You lived most of your adult life with your problem of not being able to see very well.
Well, it started when I was born, I guess.
Yeah. You think it was something inherited in the family?
The octave nerve never grew.
Really?
That's what he told me.
But you've managed to deal with that. You've led an active life for these 76 years.
Just active
And
as
you're
anybody.
continuing to be active.
Drove 31 years, no license.
That's right. Horses all, huh?
No cars.
Even cars.
Yeah.
Even cars.
An eye doctor got me a license. He said I wasn't up, you know, where they're supposed to be, but he figured I could see good enough to drive, and just long he signed the paper, I could get a license. But he died. And I was working down the Hamilton Webb driving truck, and the license ran out, and I couldn't get one.
Oh, my.
And I asked him to give me a road test. Oh, no, he said, not those eyes.
Huh.
And I come back and went driving again. I drove for 31 years, no license, in daytime.
You must have enjoyed that.
Well, done all right. Another one on the shelves is Anderson. Andy Anderson, was it? He used to come get me mornings, the wheel shells over there, Beacon, and I'd get in a little late, but I'd beat him.
Where was this, down here in the village too?
Yeah.
Now, what was the period of time? What year was this?
I can't tell you just, but I think it was before the 38 hurricane.
Yeah.
Some of it.
Yeah.
And it went up to 40, the early 40s.
In the 30s and 40s, huh?
Yeah.
Do you remember the 38 hurricane?
Oh, yeah. I was working on WPA just then.
Yeah?
And coming home, you look up and see a tree limb come down. And the fellow I was riding with, he's sat down and I said, "Listen," I said, "you either go under it or don't get under it, one or the other." And it took roosters and stuff, took them right through the air just like a bird.
Were you able to get out and see the damage after the storm?
Well, I repaired a lot of the damage around different places. It was tough. What started we was in the bank, gravel bank, a tree about so big around. I happened to look up, see that bend over and twist right off. I said, "Some guys, let's get out of here while we can." Boss said, "Oh no, we can't go." Well, 2, 3 of us said we're going. And we got out, and they worked at 2 o'clock that morning cutting the way out. Why were you in the 38 hurricane?
Where was I in the 38 hurricane? I was in New Jersey, and I was a child, and I remember vividly the heavy rains.
Did you get the winds up there?
Not so much as you had here, no, not at all, but we had heavy rain.
As I tell you, just before you get to the corner up here, it used to be a small building that Joe's father run a barber shop in.
Mm-hmm.
And that was gone after the hurricane. And that's when Joe, anyway, went round other side of the barber shop. You remember Joe, the barber?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That was him and his father.
His original building disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh.
I never knew what happened, but I think it washed away all right.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, there's a brass plate on the building at the corner of Brown Street that says that the water came up to this height.
Yeah.
Mrs. Chapman, who was talking a few minutes ago, was talking about her recollection as a child of 6 inches of mud in the house, and she lives down at the foot of Main Street.
Mrs. who?
Chapman, Betty Tabor's daughter.
No. I don't remember. Of course, we wasn't where the water showed up at. Maybe they're different.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you saw the storm damage to the trees.
Yes.
And the rain.
Blowing over things. And or something else I was going to tell you. Gone. Oh, they showed pictures of rowboats with a pig sitting in it.
A rowboat with a pig sitting in it?
Yeah, that climbed in. Well, he knew enough to get out the water.
That's very interesting. A pig in a rowboat. That's a classic picture.
I did have one of the book of that. I don't know where it is now.
A book of pictures of the storm.
Of the hurricane.
Yeah.
That was tough. There was no playing around. That was tough.
There was a long period here in the village when the Navy was here.
Yeah.
During the war. What were you doing in those days?
When during the war, part of the time, I was working up to Belleville Mill.
Mm-hmm. What were you doing at the mill?
Handling cloth. Yeah.
Textiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was...
Was that up at Rodman's?
No, up in Belleville.
In Belleville.
Hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not there now, much of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Too bad.
That was a big operation in those days.
Quite a bunch. Well, there used to be a lot of mills around here, and about all gone.
Yeah, at Hamilton, Rodman, Belleville.
And before my time, there was a lot of snuff mills around the little places around the rivers.
Why were there snuff mills here? What was the...
Well, I don't know, because it was before my time, but I've heard of it, that these little buildings would have make snuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
We know about the Gilbert Stewart snuff mill. That goes a long way back. A long way back. Now, your family has been here in this part of the country for a long time?
Come down in 1922.
Mm-hmm. From up north?
Up Scituate.
Scituate. That was the farm that was closed down. Mm. Yeah. So you came down here to farm?
Yeah.
Your father was a farmer?
In his young early days, he drove a 4-horse team to the mill up in Scituate. I can't think of the name of it right now. But ever since I can remember, he wasn't driving a team. We always had a horse or two.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What do you remember about your father?
Oh, not too much. Well, got hit by lightning. That's quite a while ago.
That's quite a shock. How old were you when that happened?
I can't tell you. I'd say it's 30 years or so ago.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Never afraid of thunderstorms either.
Hmm. Hmm.
Him and his grandson got killed.
Is that right together, huh?
Father used to haul milk in, and he used to haul potatoes in.
Mm-hmm.
He'd work sometimes 20 hours a day.
Well, you do a certain amount of farming yourself, you have several ponies and some cows and other animals out at your place in Slocum, and this lovely dog.
I got 3 of them, but not nice as this. I've got a little one. Boy, it's nice.
You're quite a dog fancier.
Oh, what the heck. Now, ain't that worth keeping?
A very loyal hound you have.
Now, I got a little white one that I took last September. One of the really nicest dogs you ever see. Now, when I'm gone all day, let him in, and he jump up and lay his head up on my chest.
How many ponies do you have these days?
9.
9 ponies. It keeps you in fresh ponies to take you to work.
The best of them I haven't got, they're gone. But they get me by. I got a big pair I want to get going by and by.
How is it you decided to specialize in ponies instead of horses?
Well, horses went so high. One spell that 10, 12 years ago, horses went awful high.
Expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
ponies are affordable.
Well, you could buy a pair of ponies for 700 or 800, 800 generally. I have bought ponies cheaper. Now, one of them that comes here I bought for $50, but they was going to put it in horse meat, 2 years old. And I mowed the lawn up there, and she always come up there and see me. I'd pet it. And this day I opened her mouth, and she had 2 big teeth, 2 years old. And next story I heard, she went in horse meat. Oh no. So I rounded the guy up, and he sold it to me for $50.
She's still doing well?
Well, she come down here.
Sure.
Now, it's one of her daughters, she got 2 daughters, and one of her daughters, I'm going to get with her. Daughter is a little shy of things, but it's almost an image of her.
You spend your time now cutting lawns in various parts of the town?
Oh, all the way to Bonnet Shores.
All the way to Bonnet Shores, and
Yeah.
how far north?
Oh, right around Wickford, well, up Lafayette.
Wickford and Lafayette. How many clients do you have now?
30, 35.
30, and that's a week's worth, huh?
Well, keeps me going. Did you want to see that pickup truck that let me out? Black.
I didn't see it, no.
Well, that's the one. My son-in-law comes down and goes Bonnet Shores with me now.
Oh, good for him. So you don't have to drive that long trip.
I haven't got the ponies I had then.
Yeah.
I got one that would do it and do it all right, but I don't know about the others. I come down by Value Land one day, and a man stopped me, was walking. He said, my brother-in-law got a pony he wants you to have. Well, I said, if it's anything I want, what do you ask for it? He said, I don't think anything. So I called the fella, and he said, all I want is a good home for a pony. He said, I see you, and you'll never beat your ponies. No, I won't beat them. So when I went up to look at it, he wasn't there. Left orders with his wife. When I went up and got it, he left orders with his wife. He wasn't there. And I know what the trouble was. He didn't want to see it go.
Sure.
I pulled in a lawn this summer up to Lafayette. Pickup truck followed me in, and he was the guy that gave me the pony.
You have that pony with you that day?
No, I didn't that day. I was just getting ready to have shoes put on, and I've been using it.
You have a real affection for your ponies, Ken.
Naturally. And listen, leave it this way. Now, if that fella down to Yargo had took you in when you didn't have a home, would you up and shoot him? Now, should I up and beat my ponies when they do everything for me?
They're very loyal to you, and you to them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, that mother pony there, I call her, I can get right down and put my head right up against her feet, heels.
She'll stand for that.
Huh?
She'll stand for that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, when one nice like that. Now, the red one, you see the red one jump out here? That pony, before I got her, they would put electric probe to her before she went to fast pulling and holler. Because she jumped from the electric probe, and when they get to the fast pulling, they couldn't put the electric probe to her, but they'd holler and she jumped just saying.
Yeah, she'd react.
But we don't drive animals that way. That's no way to drive.
Do you think that your affection for animals comes from your childhood on the farm?
I don't know. I always had them. I bought my first horse when I was 14. Of course, my brother was always trying to cause trouble when I done anything.
Really? You had an older brother?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Took my father's horse and lumber wagon, went over Slocum, led my horse home. Mother met me right at the edge of the driveway. She said, well, what you got there? I said, a horse. She backed right off, and I went in with it. Brother come along that night. He said, Ma, you know Kenneth bought a runaway horse. Runaway, nothing.
Got you in trouble there, huh?
No, she didn't. You didn't. She wouldn't run away.
No.
Hey, come. Hey, AZ.
He just saw another canine go by, another dog.
Come.
Hmm.
You never see me hit pony.
No, I think you're very, very kind to your dogs and to your ponies.
Some people all get hit before the ponies do.
That's right.
One right over yonder.
That's true.
You remember that, do you, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do indeed.
Something else I can tell you. When I worked for Ladd School State.
Oh, you worked for Ladd School?
Yeah, 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
When I come 65, they took my Blue Cross away from me. So things have been so crooked before. I asked to be steward, and they gave it to me. They made a mistake when they did. And this woman just come back in the room where I was, and they told her they were short of help in some building, she'd have to over and help them. Well, when we were short of help, we never had any help. The woman said, I'm not going. She's been a good boss to me. So the boss come running down and tell me, I said, of course she's not going. So I went up President Union with her, and I said, she ain't got to go clean somebody's out there if they don't come clean out. He said, they'll fire her. I said, they will like hell. So he talked to some of the upper ones, and they was going to do it themselves. So I turned to President of the Union. I said, I'm going to put a grievance against the state. He said, against the state? That's right. I said, they took my Blue Cross. He said, they do everybody coming 65. I said, not this one. That's part of my benefits. I wasn't in the next night, and he met this woman up in the canteen. He said, you know, he's right. Remember that big Italian fella, the lawyer, died at the wheel of his car?
Mm-hmm.
John Focarelli.
Mm-hmm.
He represented me for the union. And I beat him, and they had to pay 423 Medicare and 65 plan belongs to work. He sent word back to me that I was the only one who had guts to fight him.
And it worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Got it.
Well, that's a very important benefit.
Yeah.
Very important benefit.
You know, I fought over that cow bill, too.
Oh, what was that about?
I pulled up Stony Lane, tied them cows out in January by the neck.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Everybody calling me, telling me about it. They know I'd holler, say. And we got a bill through that they have to have at least 4 sides and a roof. After I got out of that, politicians changed it. That anything keep particles off. Yeah, you don't want 2 sides and a roof. You want 3 sides so the wind won't draw through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A shed.
Yeah.
So you've been active in protection and
some of those
public issues for animals.
Some of those things. Now, why should they take my Blue Cross just because I'm coming 65? And I got to do the same work.
Well, it's good that you fought for it because it
429 got favored with that.
yeah, a lot of people benefited from that. Well, how are things on your farm in Slocum these days? You've got 9 ponies. What else do you have out there?
They're not at home. It's 4 ponies and a heifer out to pasture.
Mm-hmm.
I got 3 ponies up to pasture, and the man's wife that pastures the cows goes up and pets the ponies. And she got them so that they'll run to her when she gets up there. I gave her a bag of grain the other day to take up to her. One of them is an old pony, and what I figured I'd keep it to fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if she gets it straightened out a little, I might keep it all winter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's 2 or 3 ways to look at this. I have to work to take care of the ponies, But if I didn't go out mowing lawn, what am I going to do? Sit in a chair 24 hours a day? That's no good.
You'd rather be active.
Yeah.
You can do some good by being out working.
Huh?
You can do some good being out and working.
Yeah. And have my ponies I want. I had a man lie to me a month ago over a cow. He isn't done yet.
What's that story about?
She was given 10 quarts. I haven't been able to get over 2 quarts out of her.
Yeah, he said she'd give 10?
Yeah. I called him once, upset him.
Yeah. What do you figure it's all about?
Well, he didn't know what she give and just said something.
I see.
Well, you ain't supposed to do those things.
Makes a difference in the price for sure.
Well, she's a small cow. Actually, if the milk was a little bigger, it'd be perfect. But small cow better for me. And they claim she's a Jersey, but she looks like a Guernsey to me. And I think a woman had raised her because they act different when a woman raised them.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Some of them can be awful miserable. And she bellows quite a lot, but she's getting down.
What's the difference, Ken, between a Jersey and a Guernsey?
Well, a lot of difference, the color and things. She's been tattooed in the ear, and she is going to have a calf, 7 months old. I had a vet talk.
How's the veterinarian situation here? How are the vets?
I got a good one.
You got a good one?
He told me, he said, anytime you can get me, if you need me, he said, I'll come anytime, day or night.
Yeah. Will he preside at the birth of the calf? Will he be there?
He will, but I don't think I need him.
You can handle it.
He checked her for the calf, and he said she's about 2 months long. Another guy told me she was 6, 7 months long, but they didn't know what they're talking about. That's the reason I didn't try to bump the calf. You can bump them on the side, you know.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know what you're doing, why try?
Have you been experienced at the birth of calves before?
Oh yeah, yeah. Had calves born all my life.
And ponies.
Yeah, I had 2 ponies. One born at home, one over the pasture.
Well, you've led an active life. You've done all manner of things.
Yeah.
What do you think, looking back on your 76 years, what do you think has given you the most pleasure?
Oh, I don't know. I like my ponies, and I like the horses. I had some horses awful good. I had a black horse, boy, would step right out, and I could talk to that horse and stop him and back him up. Yeah.
Horses are very intelligent.
Some of them. Some of them are dumb, oh, so dumb.
Yeah. I'm sure that's it. Well, I think you're a man with a special hand for animals.
Yeah, but I want to ask you something. How many that wouldn't be able to drive could do what I do?
Not many, Ken.
No.
I think you're a special person because
I find a way.
you find a way, and you found a way for many years to
But-
overcome a disability that would have scared off a lot of people.
I've been in a lot of parades and stuff. When that 76 covered wagon come up from Providence, I pulled it from Empire Street to the State House for Governor Noyle.
That was exciting. That was exciting.
Now, when I was a kid, you used to see those in movies, those wagons always tipping over. I know why. They would tip over easy.
You have a family, Ken.
Oh, yeah.
I know you have a sizable family. Who do you have in your family?
5. Shirley is the best one to me.
Shirley's your daughter?
Yeah.
You have grandchildren?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got grandchildren 30 years old.
Really? How many, you have 5 children?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many. Some of them I don't see, but Shirley got 2, and Tootie, the oldest one, she's got 3, 4, and the boy, that's 35 I got.
So it's a big family. Are they many of them here in the local area?
Not too close. Some in Exeter, some in Carolina way down state of Rhode Island.
Quite a clan.
Yeah.
Quite a clan.
But Shirley is my best one. She left off of work. She got to go back and work 2 hours extra when she...
Is she here today?
She's right here somewhere. She
We
went
should
up
get her to come on over and talk with us.
She went to get something to eat.
Well, if you see her come into view, let's ask her to come and join us.
She'll have to park a truck somewhere. That's the only thing.
Well, there's room here.
But the lawn down here, she knows how to get there. Can park it on that lawn.
But over the years, your lawn cutting work has been a rather new activity, I think.
Oh no, I got one lawn I had 42 years, and I got two more I had 41 years.
Is that right? Here in the village?
Yeah, one Menzies up here I had 41 years, and Hazard's down here I had that 41.
So you've gotten to know some of these people pretty well.
Oh yeah, well, I don't see Hazard much. Menzies is gone, of course. Because I started for Mary Hines on Hazard's lawn. One down Wakefield, 42 years. That's changed hands 3-4 times, all in the family, I guess.
So you must have started with a regular push mower.
Yeah.
And then you picked up a gasoline mower?
In the last 6, 7, or 8 years.
Now you have a ride-on mower.
Oh, no. I started with a gas motor. You know, I bought them for around $33 when I started, the cheap one, and now they're 100 and some.
Well, the prices are going up.
I couldn't push them by hand today. How's my dog behaving?
Your dog is doing beautifully. We got some shots of when he was sitting up, Ken. He looked great. We'll get another one of him. Buck him down on him now.
His picture in the book down there.
Good one of the dog.
His picture's in the book, you know.
Well, his picture's on the film, too.
No, book right down here in the corner store.
Is it, really?
Yeah, my ponies are.
Well, a lot of people recognize you
With the dog.
on the dog and the ponies.
Yeah. Well, that's how I found out why A-Rock was, because so many knew my outfit that I got a telephone call that Bucky Oxen had a big white dog. Now, I never thought that he'd touch it, but come find out he did.
Well, the dog is only content to be with you.
It's his only place, me and the ponies. He lays right behind the ponies at night.
Does he? Sleeps with them? Interesting. He's comfortable with the ponies, and they're comfortable with him.
Is that a Samoy?
You say?
Is that a Samoy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one they stole and took to New Jersey.
Ah. Have a Samoy.
That was something, wasn't it?
That was quite a story.
I argued with the chief. Mrs. Slater, she went in afterwards.
Did she?
But he didn't realize it, but his boss was Mrs. Slater's friend. Mrs. Slater's son and his big boss traveled together.
So she was able to help.
Huh?
She was able to help.
Yeah. Wouldn't you like it to have the big boss and somebody's friend?
Very helpful.
Yeah. I went up to see the chief, and he moved from chair to chair. He said, I don't have information enough. I said, he got my dog. Wouldn't do nothing. I come out. This was all made up. When I come out, I called Mrs. Slater. Then she went up. That was planned on, so. That cat they should have got for me. Chief lies to me every once in a while. Now, he told me one time, he said, I've been at the business 33 years. Well, if he was at it 33 years, they'd pension him off, wouldn't they?
Ken, I think our time is running out, but I did want to ask you a final question. I think A-Rock wants to go on, too. He looks nice and spruced up today. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Shirley.
Hi, Shirley. Come and park. I want to ask you a final question. It's kind of a big question. Now, thinking back over the people you've met over the years, can you tell me about some of the people you've really liked that you've known?
Oh, some of them been very nice. Now, Anderson was very nice, and Captain Ben was nice to me. And Walt Harvey and them fellas, they used to be down the oyster boat. I come through here one morning. You remember the old wooden wheel wagon with the iron tires? I come through here one morning, them tires singing it right out with a fast horse. Got down near the oyster house, and this fella said to Walt Harvey, he said, "They're starting the conveyor." "No," Walt said, "that's Mumford with his horse and wagon."
How do you know who I am?
Hi, Shirley.
Just that.
Your dad.
Hi, yeah.
She used to be a horse driver.
Is that right?
She'd drive pair of horses.
We were talking about animals. I think your dad has got a special thing for animals. That's clear enough to you.
Oh, by the way, did you ever hear of anybody getting arrested? Too many cats?
No?
No, you better not look the other way.
Okay.
That's me.
Is that right? That must have been an experience. How many did you have?
10.
No, that's not too many. That's not.
But they needed a home, they needed food,
Come,
they needed a
hey,
vet, so I
come.
took them in.
So you have your dad's attitude toward animals too.
Well, I wasn't going to leave the mountain, no.
I think Ken takes in ponies.
Ponies.
He's got 9 of them.
9, 10, I don't
10.
know, 11 something.
9.
9?
He only admits to 9. He only admits to 9.
Robbie admits to 9, must be 9.
Well, we've had a good talk, and I was just asking him about people that he remembers very favorably over his lifetime, people he's met. He's mentioned some of the people he worked for.
Harold Jinks up here in the store is very nice.
Harold?
Yeah.
This place trying to get down, up and downhill. Oh, my God.
It's very hard today. This is the busiest day of the year down here.
Isn't there some mess wrong here?
Quite a mess. Imagine the...
Rest before it's over.
Well, this is the worst day. Tomorrow it'll be bad in the morning, and then it'll quickly get better. Well, we're just delighted to have Ken come down and talk to us, and I think Ken knows that the videotape is going to be in the library.
Oh, yeah?
So all his recollections are going to be there and on the record. And I'm sure that a lot of people who know Ken are going to go in there and get to know him better. He's told...
You ever meet Captain Ben Northup? No.
I don't know, maybe by sight.
Down the oyster house. Did you ever go down the oyster? Yeah, you must have. When your mother come after me, she must have brought you down. Long time ago.
Long time ago, gotta be.
What are you doing these days, Shirley?
I work
Day and night.
day and night.
What do you do?
I work in a jewelry place, and on the weekend I work in the laundry.
Do you? Do you have children?
Yeah, I get 2 big ones, 27, 28.
Why are you working so hard?
Some people can't help it.
Is that something to do with the family, that you all work so hard?
Some people can't help it. I got a boy that works the same way that's in bad shape.
Yeah, and he just keeps on working.
They spoke about up to Mancini the other day.
Well, I think Ken suggested here in our conversation that he's happier working than he would be sitting in a chair.
Oh, that's no good.
You know?
After you work enough, that's all right, but not
I think it gives you an excuse to have your animals, too.
Well, it gives me a way to have them.
They get
Yeah.
expensive, but I don't care.
How about your cat? Get expensive?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes I take $100 out and buy them food.
Oh, my heavens.
Well, you might as well buy it all at once.
That's right. That's right. You get
Well,
it
we
cheaper
buy
that
when the
way,
price
too.
is cheap.
What kind of cats do you have? Are they just cats?
Strays, just
cats. So you have all kinds, huh?
Hey, you know my grass catcher.
Yes.
You know the pipe that put the grass up in the thing? That wasn't in it. It sat on the wagon with the 2 bags on it, and I let one of her cats out, and I went looking for it because it don't go nowhere.
There you go.
And it went in that hole and made a bed in one of those baskets.
That can happen. That can happen. cat can get in trouble that way.
Well,
Did you tell him about the cat that Eddie had to dig out the other day?
no. Well, wait a minute. That's right here.
Is that lady right there?
Really?
Like that house there.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Tell him what happened.
Well, tell him. You know more about it than I do.
I don't know. My husband was with him cutting grass the other day. So some lady called Eddie in the house and said to him, my cat's stuck in the bottom of the refrigerator.
Uh-huh.
And some little hole in the bottom. So Eddie had to pull him out by the 2 little feet to get him out.
Oh, my. Rescue the cat.
I wouldn't see an animal get. I don't want to hurt a rat if I can help it. I have to kill them sometimes, but I don't like to. Woodchuck, let them run.
Really? Even a woodchuck in your garden?
Well, he ain't in the garden.
They'd like to be in the garden, though.
The woodchuck had a hole up where I put that other white dog. And
Yeah, but they got a lot of them up there. A
Huh?
lot of holes, but a lot of holes, woodchuck holes, but they don't bother nobody.
I think the woodchuck been going in and out of it.
There's quite a few up there.
I wouldn't hurt him. Don't bother me.
Well, Ken, I think that...
Okay, then.
I think our conversation, I want to say one more thing. I think you deserve a lot of credit for the kindness you've shown to animals and the example you have made.
All right, I want to ask you a question. Now, I have come down and work to mow your lawn. If I beat the horses to get down here and play around beating the horses, I got to do more work. It's work beating them just same as it's mowing your lawn.
Well, I don't think that's why you don't beat them. I think that you really like those
You got to
moments.
think of it that way.
Well, I think you could think of it that way, but I like it better because it's part of you.
Man says I'm cruel to my dog. But he carries a switch in his truck to teach his dog better. You know him too.
Well, I think that dogs are like children. You have to understand that
The kindness
they don't know.
The kindness will teach them better than the club.
Oh, no, you know cats. Dogs you can call better than a cat and everything, but a cat's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one of mine was out the other night. Wanted me to get out of bed, go down in the pool. I did. Get up 1 o'clock, go out down in. They're smart. Animals are not dumb just because they can't talk.
Yeah, they do have certain
Yeah.
smarts. They do.
You know, the fellow that gave me this dog, I could have had it 2 or 3 months earlier, but dog acted up so. He said, let it come back till I go. He said, then he'll have to go. But the dog come up every day looking for something to eat. Well, if I was going to have a dog, I'd feed him. And another young fella said to him, my friend would like to have A-Rock. Oh, he said, Mumford's going to have A-Rock, but it'll probably get stolen.
How many years have you had A-Rock now?
Oh, 6, 7.
Well, he's your companion on your wagon.
Yeah, I'm not going to let no other dog come on as long as I got him. Then if he isn't around, I'll probably take another one.
He's a pretty well-behaved dog. How old do you suppose he is?
I'd say 7 or 8.
Just pretty young still. Yeah.
Well, no, they say about 10 years, don't they, for one year?
Yeah.
Now, I got a little white dog. It's really a dog. He ain't afraid of you. You set you right back out.
Little dogs are feisty. Isn't that the truth?
He ain't that small.
No, he's little but not small.
They
Not a little thing like this.
Not a lap dog.
They advertised in the paper, Samoy, mail and things, and I thought I'd get another A-Rock. I got down there, they brought out this little dog.
About half size, huh?
Quarter size.
Quarter size, yeah.
Oh, it didn't look good for a few minutes, but I never said a word. I took it. And that dog turned out to be the nicest dog you ever seen, boy. There's times I leave the door open with him inside.
Is that right?
Leave it unlocked with him in there.
Well, Ken,
Okay.
it's been
then.
very pleasant talking with you this afternoon. I appreciate your coming on down here after work, especially on a
No,
Saturday
don't worry about
afternoon.
I came out of work, too.
You came out of work, you took time off, and you're going to have to
2
go
hours, yeah.
back and do some work. So, Shirley, thank you very much.
7:30 to 9:30.
Well,
Good night.
Then I got morning shift in the morning.
oh, gee, what kind of jewelry do you work on?
I work on junk jewelry. but I work on a laundry and a laundry on the weekend.
Is it a laundromat type
Yeah,
situation?
laundromat, yeah. I've been there 4.5 years, but you like it because you know the people.
Yeah.
The customers.
The people, that makes it important.
Yeah.
I think that's what Ken feels too. Your dad told me that many of the people he cuts grass for have been his employers for 30, 40 years.
40, one of
42, 41, and 41.
Yeah.
So a lot of them. I tied horse and ponies to that pole right there 20, 25 years. How long you been here?
Not that long, Ken. Not 5, really.
Remember the guy that didn't like it?
Yeah. You remember the Episcopal priest who used to live there before?
No. Did you see the piece about the priest that beat his father up? 79 years old?
Yes, I saw that. That was
Yeah.
pretty astonishing. Yeah. Well, it's a strange world we live in, and it's nice that you have a good, peaceful corner up there in Slocum.
Well, I haven't got two good neighbors on one side. The rest of them's all right.
most generally it's either your
Listen,
friends or your relations.
I think you're quite fortunate if you've got mostly good neighbors, you know?
Yeah.
I think we give thanks for that.
Only trouble, one died, one moving, and one moved in where the one died. Remember that fellow they found dead up on Anna-Pawtucket Road? His mother lives right up 100 feet from me.
But she ain't got 'em.
No.
She ain't.
Thank you, Ken, very
Well,
much.
I'll
for your-
see you then.